What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Wednesday. It is September 6th, and we are back, hopefully bringing you a breakdown that helps you out. If you watched yesterday's video, we hit on a bunch of big plays. Our lineups hit. Our home run picks hit with Pete Alonso. Everything hit yesterday that we felt very confident about. We're back again, hopefully, to do the exact same thing. If you've never been here before, you're in for a treat. We're going to break down a bunch of stuff. We actually have some early games that we can play. It's a split slate. It's actually kind of an early split slate for a Wednesday, but we'll check it out. If you have any questions, let us know down below. We are also going to have a giveaway, just like before. If you've never been here before, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes and you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. If our video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, a chance to win a free year. And in any video gets 150 likes, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. So we are going to see who the winner is. But before we get started, if you haven't already checked it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, we have Week 1 rankings out right now. Go check them out. We already have a video about it. I'll link the video at the end of this video. Go check that out. Give us some love on NFL content because guess what? NFL starts tomorrow and we are back. So we are going to see, let's see who is the winner from yesterday's video. Real quick before we get started to see who the person is that won the free week. And you can win multiple weeks or multiple days in a row. You just have to be put a comment out there. So Kevin, congratulations. If you see this, hit us up on our email, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. If you don't, and just let us know if you already have a username, let us know that. Or if you don't, let us know a username and an email that you would like to use so we can get you set up for that free week of DFS content. So congratulations again, Kevin. If you come back tomorrow, you have a chance to win yet again. You also have a chance if you go check out our NFL video and comment over there. So that being said, we do have early games, like I said. For whatever reason, it starts at, I don't know why it's so early, but we do. We have 6 games early. We have 6 games late, or main as the normal 6:05. Whatever reason, we're getting a little bit early here. So we're going to cover it. We're going to look at it. And if you have questions, definitely let us know. So towards the end of the video, we do, like I've said in the past, we do simulations. We do a total of 10,000 simulations. And the simulations are put out about an hour before the slate locks. We're going to do 2,000 simulations this morning, and we're going to tell you who the top 10 pitchers and top 10 bats are after 2,000 simulations. So you can go check that out. And you can also go check out everything we have to offer under the MLB tab right here. Bunch of information to help you bring home that bacon. So first game on the slate, we've got the Brewers at the Pirates. We've got Freddie Peralta versus to be announced. Like I've said, most of the time the Pirates are going to be to be announced almost every single day. And it's looking like there's going to be an opener for Pittsburgh. And then you've got Mitch Keller, who is, it's going to look, Selby is going to be the opener. And then Mitch Keller is going to be the long relief, which I don't know if he's ever done the long relief before. But maybe they're just limiting him because he's been terrible this year. I don't know. We'll get Freddie Peralta. And if you hear it in the background, I don't know if this microphone will pick it up. But there's a smoke alarm beeping. I woke up this morning and there's a dead battery. My wife and child are asleep and I don't know which smoke alarm is going off, so I do apologize. I know it's annoying. I hate listening to that, especially when you play Call of Duty or especially when you play online and someone's mic. So I will figure out what that is after the video. So that being said, we got Freddie Peralta. I love this matchup for him against Pittsburgh. Coming off a really good game against Philly. He's already faced Pittsburgh twice this year, 11.1 innings. He does have 5 earned runs against them, but he's averaging 21.8. That would not be enough at his price. It'd just be enough at his price. But I really like Freddie Peralta here against Pittsburgh. I'm not looking at an opener, and I'm not looking at Mitch Keller here. He's been lit up. He's already faced Milwaukee twice this year. giving up 12 earned runs. So on the early slate, I mean, he's averaging a 10.8 ERA against them. Just like yesterday, Milwaukee as a stack would dominate probably, just like they did. So Christian Yelich, MVP candidate. William Contreras I would look at. Willie Adames. And then if you want to get a little bit lower owned, Rowdy Tellez, Carlos Santana, Victor Caratini. I'm definitely looking at a Milwaukee stack. This is just one where we need to wait for the lineup to come out because they just put up some runs yesterday. I think they're going to come back and do it again. Just depends on what Milwaukee lineups out there. That I really don't want anything to do with Pittsburgh. I mean, if you're not going with him, obviously these three up here would be a good one. But McCutchen is out with an injury, so that's a bat out of the order. I would rather have the Brewers, and I'd rather stack Peralta against Pittsburgh and feel very confident about that. Next game, the Twins at the Guardians. For whatever reason, the Guardians are absolutely sucking against the Twins right now. Twins are putting up runs all the time. Joe Ryan versus Gavin Williams. Some good numbers out of him. Joe Ryan had a good game against Texas there. He's faced Cleveland twice this year already. 12.2 innings, 4 earned runs, 15 fantasy points. Obviously, we'd need a little bit more out of him there. But the way Cleveland's been, I don't know if I'll have 100% with Joe Ryan, but the Minnesota lineup, just the way they've been going, I think I've got to go. I mean, Gavin Williams has been bad lately, considerably bad. Just faced Minnesota his last game. Only went 1 inning in that game. I think he had right knee soreness, so that's probably why he left. I don't know if that's going to affect him here. He did have a little bit more rest, but I'm probably stacking Minnesota. I'm probably looking at Joe Ryan over Gavin Williams and Cleveland bats. So just looking at this, the Minnesota bats I'd look at would be Royce Lewis has been on fire lately. I would look at Royce Lewis, Max Kepler, Matt Wallner. I would look at them. Julian, I would look at Jorge Polanco, Carlos Correa, Ryan Jeffers. There's just a lot of Minnesota Twins bats that I really like. Will depend on when the lineup comes out, but I would rather stack the Twins with Joe Ryan than look at the Guardians bats against him. And I want nothing to do with Gavin Williams. Giants at the Cubs. You got Alex Wood versus Jordan Wicks. The Cubs have been just putting up runs. They put up runs yesterday. There was a ton of runs. I think there was 19 runs put up in this game yesterday. I feel like it's going to be something similar to that. Alex Wood usually doesn't get the start lately, but we'll look at his numbers here real quick. Game logs, 3 innings. For whatever reason, he's an opener, I guess. In a sense, he's an opener, but he's not given that title. I just don't think he's going to go very deep in a game. I don't want anything to do with Alex Wood. Looking at this, his numbers are bad. His ERA is high, 4.35. Has not faced the Cubs this year, but the way the Cubs bats have been going, I've got to go with some Cubbies here. And Jordan Wicks. Jordan Wicks has been pitching quite well. 7,000 here. Game logs, 2 starts, really good against Pittsburgh. Not bad against Cincy, and that's a bad ballpark to pitch in. Splits-wise, he's never started a game at home, so I'll have some exposure to him just because they've never faced him before. If you're not going with Wicks, Jock Peterson, it is a lefty-on-lefty matchup, though. I would look at J.D. Davis, Yastrzemski, I'm okay with. Austin Slater, Mitch Haniger against the lefty. Patrick Bailey does really well against the lefty. Lamont Wade Jr. had a home run for us yesterday. Wilmer Flores as well. So there's a lot to like in both sides. But again, I don't trust Alex Wood. Patrick Wisdom's an option. Chris Morel hit a monster shot yesterday. I would look at him. Suzuki had a home run yesterday. I think a 3-run home run yesterday. I would look at Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson against a lefty. Jamer Candelario. I don't know if Mike Tauchman is hurt, but they did pinch hit for him yesterday after the second inning for some reason. So yeah, he had 1 at bat, then he got pinch hit for. So I'm out on him. I don't know what that was. That's kind of weird, but I would stay away from him. Cody Bellinger, I'd look at Jan Gomes against a lefty. Nico Horner, I'm okay with. So there's a ton of bats that I like in this one. I'd rather focus on Chicago bats. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Wicks, but if you don't want to go with him, there were a few San Francisco bats I'm okay with. Blue Jays at the Athletics, you got Ryu versus JP Sears, battle of the lefties. Really haven't seen each other much at all. Looking at these numbers here, you got Ryu at 7,500. Not the best, not a good game at Colorado, obviously. You're probably going to get 5 innings out of him. But if he doesn't get at least 5 Ks, probably not feel confident about that. He has not faced Oakland this year. Pitching on the road in 3 starts on the road, 1.29 ERA, and it's a pitcher's park. I'm okay with it, 7,500. Especially like right around here. I like him better than Alex Wood, obviously. I like him better than Gavin Williams at 8,000. I like him better than Michael Walker at 8,700. And he's got a plus matchup against Oakland. And then you got JP Sears here going up against Toronto. We're seeing some good numbers here. For his price, he's now 6,600. Hasn't faced Toronto this year. He's pitching at home, but he does have a pretty big ERA at home, and that is a pitcher's park. So that is kind of where I'm at. Hey, I'm kind of looking at Toronto bats here. Now, it's another lefty pitcher. We just saw Vlad. I just put a $25 bet on Vlad to hit a home run yesterday. He did not, so I fully expect him to hit a home run today. We did hit a pretty good one, home run parlay, or home run yesterday with Pete Alonso, and I did have a 3-pitcher parlay for Pete Alonso. He hit a home run pretty early in the game. Or no, it was pretty late in the game. He hit a home run. Then I had... Who else did I have? Let me check real quick. That's right. I had a Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, and Christian Walker. 3 parlay, $10 to win $778. And of course, Christian Walker against Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland with terrible numbers against Arizona, shut Arizona down to 2 runs. So not happy about that, but we'll be back to the well with some of these. We hit the Pete Alonso for $150, so that was awesome. So ton of information going. We're gonna have a bunch of these bets and touchdown parlays and stuff like that for the NFL, which we're very, very excited about. The NFL touchdown parlays are a little bit less volatile than home runs, obviously, but we will be back with a vengeance for the NFL season. So if you have not already, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. FTA Plus, $24.99 for a month, or until tomorrow, you can use the promo code NFLVIP, and on the yearly pass, get $199, get $100 off for $99 right now. So good luck to everybody there. So if you're not using either pitcher, I love Vlad here, but the problem is, he's grounding out and grounding in double plays a lot more than home runs, but I'd take him against a lefty. I would take George Springer against a lefty. Davis Schneider I would look at. Dalton Varsho I'm okay with. Kevin Kiermaier, Whit Merrifield would be the Toronto bats I'd look at. And then the Oakland bats, if you're not going with Ryu, I don't mind Ryan Noda or Brent Rooker. Zach Geloff has been absolutely on fire when we've used him this year. I'd look at Seth Brown a little bit. Shea Langoliers a little bit. Maybe if you want to pay down, Aledmus Diaz here is probably as far down as I would go in this lineup. So maybe a little bit of Ryu because it's Oakland, but I kind of like stacking both sides here instead of that. You got the Rockies at the Diamondbacks. You got Chris Flexen versus Zach. I ghosted my wife Davies. We're going to say that every single time this piece of human garbage comes up to the plate. But let's look at the numbers and see how they have done in the past here. You can see they're both down at the bottom. Chris Flexen, I don't really want anything to do with these pitching. Minus 0.1. He did actually do pretty well right here. He did well against Arizona. 13.9 is okay. Obviously, he got 2 times his value at 5,000. He's still 5,000 if you want to use, but he did give up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. So I'm probably off of him. I'm probably looking at the offenses. I don't want anything to do with Zach Davies either. I would look at the offenses here. So looking at these, Ryan McMahon I'm looking at. Nolan Jones is another option here. Tovar would be an option. Charlie Blackmon I'm looking at. And Brendan Rodgers would be another bat I would look at. It really just depends on what Colorado throws out there for their lineup. You just never know what they're going to do. And then on the flip side of that, Tommy Pham is hitting the ball pretty well. I do like him a little bit more against lefties, but I could take him here. Ketel Marte I could take. Corbin Carroll, I'm okay with. Emmanuel Rivera, we used him yesterday. He helped us out. Very cheap option. Gabriel Moreno, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I guess I'm going to go back to the well with Christian Walker, because usually anytime I take a home run pick and they don't hit a home run, they hit a home run the next day. So don't be surprised if Christian Walker hits one there. And if you want to go down a little bit more, Jace Peterson I'm okay with, or Geraldo Perdomo I'm okay with as well. Next game, Phillies at the Padres. You got Zach Wheeler versus Michael Wacha. We just saw Phillies really not do much yesterday at all, and then San Diego came through. Tatis had yet again another, it was a monster home run yesterday. Absolute monster of a home run. We saw Padres go 8-0 there, so everyone who had home run picks or the Phillies bats, they did absolutely nothing. Wheeler versus Michael Wacha. Whether or not we get the same Wheeler or same Michael Wacha result here with a dominating performance, I don't know. They are without Trey Turner, who I did read signed the big $300+ million contract 9 months ago, and then he's now on the paternity list. So 1 + 1 equals literally 3. That's what it equals. So Trey Turner's a big bat that's out. We can look at the other bats that are in here. But let's take a look at Zach Wheeler here against San Diego. It is a pitcher's park. He's coming off a good game against Milwaukee, a great game against St. Louis. He's faced San Diego once this year, 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 20.8, which would be it would actually be 2 times his price exactly. But the way San Diego's hitting right now, I don't know if I could trust him, especially at 10,400. I would rather take Peralta at 10,300 and get that $1 or $100 savings here. Then you got Michael Wacha going up against Philly. They are a really good team. They just didn't put up runs yesterday. Splits-wise, he has not faced Philly this year. He's pitching at home where he does have a better ERA. He's averaging 20.1 at home, and that would be a hell of a value here at 8,700. So we could look at him. I don't mind him for tournaments, but I kind of want to look at the bats in this one. I think there could be a lot of bats. So Kyle Schwarber has 40 home runs and 39 singles last I read. So the numbers are crazy. He's really good on offense. So he would be an option here against Michael Wacha. Bryce Harper would be an option here. Bryce Harper is kind of in a slump right now. He did shave his beard off. He's freshly shaven, but since he's such a man, it probably grew back overnight to a bushy beard. But he is in a slump a little bit, but maybe that helps him out. So he would be one I could look at. Alec Boehm I'm okay with. Castellanos I'm okay with. And then, like I said in the other video, if you want to get down a little bit, Christian Pache, if he gets a start, I do like Pache. Bryson Stott I'm okay with a little bit. Edmundo Sosa would be another one. So on the flip side of that, if you're not wanting to pay up for Wheeler since he is so expensive, we could be looking at the San Diego bats again. Tatis has been on fire. I would look at Tatis. I would look at Juan Soto. I would look at Manny Machado. If you want to go lefties here, I would look at Trent Grisham. I would look at Ha-Seong Kim here too. Not a lefty, but Garrett Cooper would be another option that I'd look at here against Zach Wheeler. We got the Mariners at the Reds. You got Logan Gilbert versus Lyon Richardson. Didn't know that's a first name. Richardson's never faced the Mariners before, and then Gilbert has only faced 4 plate appearances here. So let's take a look at these numbers here. Is this game on here? This game is not on here. This game is not on. Okay, so you can't play this game. It's in the middle here. So we can't even play this game. Showdown-wise, it would just be the bats. Julio's been absolutely on fire. I'd probably be looking at the Mariners bats here against Richardson, but we can't play this one. So we'll move on past this game. We'll go to the Red Sox. Well, we can't play this game either. For whatever reason, there's not a slate as of now for this. But Pivetta versus Tyler Glasnow, I would obviously love to look at Glasnow here. If this game does come into play, it would really depend on the bats, but I would look at Glasnow. Yeah, I would look at Glasnow, and then I would look at, well, let's see, actually. No, let's not. Okay, so Pavetta, I would not look at. I would look at the bats in this one. So I would look at Yandy Diaz is a bat that I would always look at for the Tampa Bay Rays. Randy Arozarena, Luke Raley. Brandon Lau will be a good option here against a righty. I would look at Josh Lowe a little bit and Isaac Paredes. And then if you're not going with Glass now, Devers, Tristan Casas, Yoshida, Justin Turner, Adam Duvall, Alex Verdugo. I mean, there's a lot of lineup to like in this Red Sox side, but I would rather take Glass now here against Boston because it's in Tropicana Field. And then the Dodgers at the Marlins, Lance Lynn versus JT Chargot. Lance Lynn has looked like trash lately. I would definitely look at the Miami stack if you can. Jesus Sanchez, Brian De La Cruz, Jorge Soler if he's in there, Luis Ariz against Lance Lynn, and then Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Just depends on the lineup that comes out. James Outman or whichever outfield they come out with. Jason Hayward, James Outman, David Peralta would be the bats that I'd look at in this one. So I'm avoiding both of these pitchers if we can play this slate, which as of now it doesn't look like we can. And then I would look at the just complete bats instead of the pitching in this one. Then we've got our main slate, Jose Butto versus Yohan Adon. These numbers are going to kill me. Down here, Butto, again, not much. He's not going deep in a game, so he's not a viable option. He's faced Washington once this year, 4.2 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 walks. That's wild. That's a ton of walks, especially when you don't even start. And then Adon here, game logs, not a good game against Miami in 5 innings. Then a good game against Miami, not against Philly. So, yeah, it's not looking good out of him. Pitching at home, he's got 3 starts. He's given up 16 earned runs with a 9.6 ERA. I'm stacking. I don't want anything to do with this, the pitching in this game. I want to look at the bats. And it's both sides of the bat here. So we actually had a New York Mets stack yesterday with Francisco Alvarez, who had a monster game. I would look at Brandon Nimmo. I would look at Francisco Lindor. Vogelbach is a tournament option. Francisco Alvarez, if he's in there, I like him. Pete Alonso is another bat that I love in this situation. And then, since I'm not using either, we can look at Washington bats. Not a ton that I love, but I would look at Joey Meneses, Lane Thomas. I'm okay with C.J. Abrams, Dom Smith if he's in there. I'm okay with. Carter Kieboom would be a cheaper option as well down here. So those are the ones I'm looking at. I'm not looking at this pitching at all. And then you got the Tigers at the Yankees. You got Matt Manning versus Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt's actually been pretty decent lately. We saw the Yankees dominate. We saw Garrett Cole and the Yankees dominate yesterday. I would be looking at Clark Schmidt in Detroit. He just faced him in his last start. 13.1 is not 2 times value here. Problem is he gave up 3 earned runs, 3 walks, but had 7 Ks. He's been striking out a bunch. 4.2 innings. Obviously, we need at least 5. But as a 7,100 option here at that price, I like him more than Matt Manning and Butto and Toussaint. But we'll look at his numbers. So if you're not going with Schmidt, Torkelson obviously is a huge bat in that lineup. Parker Meadows would be a cheaper option. Kerry Carpenter I would look at. Akil Baddoo I would look at. That's probably the only bats I would look at for Detroit. And then the Yankees, Aaron Judge. Stanton had his 400th home run yesterday, a monster shot. Jason Dominguez. Let's see, have they brought Dominguez up yet? His price? Still 3,100. I would look at Jason Dominguez still as an option. Austin Wells should be in this lineup. He got the rest day yesterday for whatever reason. Gleyber Torres had a huge game yesterday. DJ LeMahieu. The Yankees have just turned it on lately. I would definitely look at a Yankee stack here and Clark Schmidt, and I'm avoiding Matt Manning and pretty much all the Detroit bats for sure. Then you got the Cardinals at the Braves. You got Dakota Hudson versus Spencer Strider. I'm all over Strider. We did see Cardinals as a pretty good stack yesterday, but that was because Michael Soroka was terrible. So Strider against St. Louis, he's not faced him this year, but he's getting a ton of strikeouts. He's pitching at home, where he's got a little bit worse ERA, but he's averaging 26.8. strikeouts at home, we know 10 strikeouts his last game at home, then 9 strikeouts at home, then 13, then 10. So when he's at home, he's getting almost double-digit strikeouts. I feel like he's going to do the exact same thing again. So I think people are going to, casual DFS players are going to be all over the Cardinals bats because what they did yesterday. I think we should take advantage, go Spencer Strider and the Braves bats. Now, the Braves put up a ton of runs yesterday. We saw a ton of home runs. We saw Austin Riley hit a home run. We saw Matt Olson hit a home run. Marcell Ozuna hit a home run. Everyone got into the game, was dominating yesterday. It's pretty much anytime the Braves are out there, you're going to take a Braves stack of some sort. If you're not going Strider, for whatever reason, Nolan Gorman had 2 home runs yesterday. I would look at him. Jordan Walker, Tyler O'Neill had a home run yesterday. You could look at Lars Nootbaar. You could look at Arenado, but I'm probably going Strider. He is expensive, but I'm going to go Strider. And then it doesn't matter the Braves bats you look at. So a ton of red. You just got to be able to figure out which ones you can fit in that lineup. So that is where I'm at in that situation. I don't want anything to do with Dakota Hudson. I don't want anything to do with the Cardinals bats. I'm going Strider and a Braves stack. Then you got the White Sox at the Royals. Touki Toussaint versus Jordan Lyles. Now, Toussaint's never faced them before, but he's in Kansas City, which is a pitcher's park. Coming off okay games here against Detroit. A really good game against Oakland. He's 6,300, so they've put him up only 300 since his last start. Has not faced Kansas City this year. Pitching on the road. He is worse on the road, but this is a pitcher's park. At 6,300, I'm okay with. But the Royals have been putting up runs, and we used them as a stack a few days ago, and a lot of people said they dominated with that. So, and they put up 12 or something. A lot of home runs, a lot of runs in that game. So I don't mind that. Jordan Lyles, I really don't. I mean, he had a good game against Boston. 8 innings in that game. He went 8 innings against the Cubs. He went 8 innings against Boston again. So he's been going deep in the game. But then he's got that 5 innings and then a 3-inning stinker here against Seattle. He's faced the White Sox twice this year, 14 innings. He's given up 8 earned runs in that. He has 11 strikeouts, but he's a 5 ERA. I'm probably avoiding both of these, or I'm probably avoiding Lyles. I'll look a little bit at Toussaint, but I'd rather have the offenses in this one. So the White Sox I would look at would be Eloy, Andrew Vaughn, Colas, Robert Jr., Grandal. Probably be maybe Corey Lee is a very cheap option. And then on the flip side, the bats that I would look at for Kansas City would be MJ Melendez, Michael Garcia, Nelson Velasquez had 2 home runs the other day. I believe on Monday he had 2 home runs. I would look at Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at Salvador Perez. I would look at Michael Massey and Edward Olivares as well. So kind of feeling a little bit of a Royal stack over a White Sox stack, but I will have exposure to both sides here. But I doubt the pitching. Maybe Toussaint for very deep tournaments if you're playing multiple lineups. But yeah, I'm stacking both sides. Got the Astros at the Rangers, the 2 studs that both were on the Mets, Verlander versus Scherzer. The Rangers might actually, after dominating the Central almost all season, or dominating the West all season, they might miss the playoffs completely, which would be hilarious with how much money the Rangers spent yet again last offseason and the season before that. But yeah, you've got Verlander, who got lit up by the Yankees' young bats on Friday night, and then you got Scherzer, both expensive, both right next to each other. So Justin Verlander now Texas didn't do anything yesterday. Jose Altuve is on another planet right now. He had 5 home runs in his last 6 at bats in the start of the game yesterday. Had 3 home runs yesterday. Had 2 home runs the day before. I think people are going to be all over him. I almost just did a stupid bet of taking 2 home runs. 2+ home runs from him yesterday, which I wish I would have. But again, c'est la vie. Splits-wise, he has not faced Texas this year. Pitching at home, 2.82, but again, he hasn't pitched at home, unquote, for a while. And then on the road, he's 4.02. I kind of think people are going to... I think this could be a high-scoring game, even with both of these pitchers. And then you got Scherzer here. They've got to shut this down. He's got to hold Houston here. Game logs, he's coming off really good games against Minnesota. Splits-wise, he's faced Houston once this year already. 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. If he could do that, it would be huge for Texas. But I kind of like the bats on both sides here. There's just so many runs that could be scored in this game because these guys are old. They are very old compared to other pitchers in the game. So kind of just looking at this, if you're not going with either pitcher, Yordan Alvarez I would look at, Michael Brantley, Diaz, Kyle Tucker. Jose Altuve has been on fire, but I bet his price is $6,000. $6,100. Yeah, so his price is going to be up there. It's going to be hard to make a stack with him in here unless you use different bats like a John Singleton, Chas McCormick, Pena, Kessinger if he plays, or Dubon. So yeah, I mean, it's the usual suspects for the Astros I'd look at. And then the flip side of that, Corey Seager's batting like 350 on the year against Verlander. Don't be surprised if Seager hits a home run. I'm okay with Adolis Garcia, Taveras, Nate Lowe against a lefty or against a righty. He's on my list though because I had a massive 4 home run parlay on Monday, and Nate Lowe was the last one, $5 to win $1,700, and he did nothing for me. He actually somehow managed to come up in the 9th inning and pop out to shortstop. So he's on my list. But don't be surprised if he hits a home run now that I don't have him in a lineup or a parlay. Jonah Heim would be an option I'd look at against Verlander. Robbie Grossman is a switcher. I don't know if he'll play. I would look at Marcus Semien. And if you want to go a little bit lower, Hedges if he plays, or Jankowski are both cheaper options in this lineup if you're trying to stack here. And then the final game, you've got Kyle Gibson versus Patrick Sandoval. Our Dean Kramer pick came through. Shohei's probably out. That just pushes everyone down, meaning there's not a ton of great options for bats in this Angels lineup. But we can look at this. Or no, this game's not. It is. There's Kyle Gibson. Game logs, not a good game against the White Sox. A good game against Toronto. Hasn't faced the Angels this year. Pitching on the road, he is a little bit better on the road. Does have a 4.75 ERA though. Tournaments, I'm okay with if you want that late night pitching hammer here against the Angels. And then we've got Patrick Sandoval against Baltimore. Not a good game. I mean, terrible game against Oakland. And I'll admit, I'm wrong. Yesterday, I didn't want Framber Valdez because of his price, but he came through. Same thing with Sandoval. I used Sandoval his last start against Oakland because it was a fantastic matchup for him. Didn't come through at all. So I don't want anything to do with this. So let's just see what Framber did yesterday. His game log. I mean, to be fair, he went 7 innings. They won 14-1. He only gave up 1 earned run, but he had 4 walks and 4 K. So I'm not. 19.8 is not enough for his price of $10,100. So, you know what? I don't have to eat crow. While they had a really good game there, his 4 walks really screwed him over with 4 Ks. So yeah, bet. Anyway, looking at this last game, if you're not looking at pitching and you're looking at just strictly the bats, Baltimore's a really good team. We know this. Kyle Gibson for tournaments, I'm okay with because the Angels are not that decent this year. Not good. But looking at this, I would look at Gunnar Henderson. I would look at Ryan Mountcastle here. Santander, Cedric Mullins, I'm okay with. Adley Rutschman, I love Adley Rutschman in this situation here. Aaron Hicks would be a very cheap switch hitting option if he's in there, but I don't trust him at all. Jorge Mateo against a lefty. Ramon Urias and Austin Hayes. So there's a ton. Well, James McCann also. So definitely make sure to see which lineup comes out for the Orioles. But you might find some value bats late in the very last game here against Patrick Sandoval. And then if you're not going with Gibson, Brandon Drury, Logan O'Hoppe, Trey Cabbage, Rengifo, I'm okay with. Moustakas, Mickey Moniak. Those would probably be the only options, though. So I'd rather stick with Orioles bats, and that's pretty much it. Kyle Gibson for tournaments, but that's all I want out of him. And there you have it. Those are all of the pitching options on this split slate Wednesday, and batting options. We are going to go over the 2000 simulations, so here we go. As of now, it's got C.J. Abrams number 1. Lane Thomas, Corbin Carroll number 3, Number 4 is Ronald Acuna Jr. Number 5 is Aaron Judge. Number 6 is Christian I Let You Down Walker. Number 7 is Luis Robert Jr. 8 is Ryan McMahon. 9 is Ketel Marte. And number 10, as of now, is Mookie Betts. Then we look at the pitchers here. Number 1 is Spencer Strider. Number 2 is Zach Wheeler. 3 is Nick Pivetta. 4 is Logan Gilbert. 5 is Kyle Gibson. 6 is Max Scherzer. 7 is Tyler Glasnow. 8 is Joe Ryan. 9 is Michael Wacha. And 10 is Clark Schmidt. So those are through 2,000 simulations. They will be updated 10 through 10,000 before the main slate at 6:05 Eastern or 6:05 Central. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out everything we have to offer on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Definitely go check out our NFL information here. And hopefully it helps you out. We will have these rankings. Like I said in that video, we do the rankings either Tuesday or Wednesday. Then we update them after the Thursday game. We update them on Sunday morning to give any of the because we have a lot of like questionable tags and stuff like that because it is week 1. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to have a video for our matchup tool. We'll have a video for the Thursday matchup tool, all the games there, and then we'll go through that. So looking at that, looking up the week ahead, if you do sign up for FTA Plus, we've got MLB for the week. We've got MMA on Saturday. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've checked this MMA DFS results tab at all, but we've actually dominated the MMA the last 4 weeks. I just want to show you. Our cheat sheet shows the matchups, the players, and we predict who's going to win. This is how we've done. When we started MMA, 9-4 the first week, and then we've just turned on the burner since then. The next week was 10-2. The week after that was 11-2, and last week we went 10-1 picking the winners. So you can use this for sports betting. You can definitely check that out, but we've been absolutely on fire, and you can check that out under the cheat sheet tab there. We will have NASCAR. We're so excited to have NFL back. And then PGA is actually out, I believe, for 1 more week. It is like the Irish Open, which we're not going to cover, but we'll be back next week for the September 14th and on for PGA. So a ton of information there. Hopefully you guys have dominated, but we're very excited. Be on the lookout for all the NFL content coming your way. That's what I've got in this video, guys. Good luck as always. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace!